I want to thank both of you actually, because the last time we had to chat,
Lexi?
I saw both of y'all like waiting. I was like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, check please.
Yeah.
Chris, I have to say, I was like, I am so impressed with your ability to just like remain diplomatic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This has been a very long week. On top of what we're already dealing with, we had all the stuff happening in Minneapolis.
It's a Monday evening in Minneapolis. Police respond to a call about a man who allegedly used a counterfeit $20 bill to buy cigarettes. 17 minutes later, the man they are there to investigate lies motionless on the ground and is pronounced dead shortly after. The man was 46-year-old George Floyd, a bouncer originally from Houston who'd lost his job at a restaurant when the coronavirus pandemic hit. Floyd's death triggered major protests in Minneapolis and sparked rage across the country.
I feel like this particular incident has been the first one probably since, in my feed, since Trayvon Martin, that I've seen a lot of people really like get up in arms and kind of like are focused on what's happening. And part of that might be because we're all at home. And so, we're already glued into what's happening.
Or if you resist arrest, you may be charged with additional crimes.
The tension between cops and demonstrators tonight exploding onto Manhattan streets. There was pushing. There was screaming in faces. Most had masks, some did not. There was little social distancing. Some dragged away in handcuffs. Police vehicles were graffitied. Foley Square was tagged. Traffic in front of the criminal courthouse blocked for hours. But underneath this boiling anger, there was a purpose and a message. Demonstrators from diverse backgrounds speaking with one voice. It started in Foley Square in the hot summer sun in the middle of a pandemic, 1,000 or so protesters. Eventually, they crossed the Brooklyn Bridge to take that message to the next borough.
Me and my cousin, we was driving around because that's like the only real time I get to hang out with them. And then all of a sudden, like, the cops are barricading certain areas and stuff like that near the Barclays. So like we had to do a whole route through Queens to get back uptown.
Sparks flew late into the night outside the Barclays Center.
I came all the way here from Sunset during the coronavirus, which is a lot. And I'm sure these people come from everywhere.
You are unlawfully in the roadway, obstructing vehicular traffic.
They are demanding change.
We cannot go jogging. We can't live in our own houses. They're just continuously killing us. Like, it's sickening.
We just like saw a whole bunch of ruckus. Like, we wasn't there for when they burnt down the van and everything. But like, yeah, it was a whole bunch of ruckus down there.
Protests and like in response to.
Yeah, there have been protests everywhere today.
There was a protest. I took a walk on the Hudson.
Okay.
Okay.
Riverside Park area, and then as I was coming home, there was like a huge like line of people like protesting, but they were peaceful.
I've seen protests in multiple cities throughout the day. Right here in Newark, it was a very successful protest.
They're killing black people like dogs in the street. No! To the people! If there ain't gonna be no justice, there ain't gonna be no peace. If there ain't gonna be no justice, there ain't gonna be no peace.
The public safety director says the city's residents made their presence known and told agitators to leave.
No, they won't burn our city, Tracy. You damn right they won't.
At one point, they flattened the police car tire, and at least two people in the crowd with the police started telling them, "Get out of here. You're not from here. Get out of our city. Don't do that to our police car."
These guys did an outstanding job. Outstanding.
I know that right now, this notion of trying to spark this war, like full-on war between, blacks and whites and, people on this side, people on that side, Republicans, Democrats, what have you, is really, coming to a head.
I saw one thing that I don't know who it was, if it was undercover cops or some radical right-wing group, but they were identifying themselves to each other with like white armbands or something.
Undercover cops, yeah, undercover.
Was that what it was?
Well, that's what I've been seeing, that it was undercover cops, and they change the color every day. So, like, I've been seeing people posting the other day. I think yesterday it was white, and today it was orange.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting switch up.
I love how they think what's conspicuous is the color.
Yeah.
Not the fact that there's a certain amount of people randomly walking around with the same color armband.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like almost no matter how big something is, it's still meaningless, because something else is going to come along in the next 24 hours that's going to upset you just as much, and you're going to forget about the thing that had upset you before.
Well, shit, like a little girl, like I get mad when I cut myself. I get like murderously angry but I think what really, it's like the lack of meaningful, strong relationships with the people around you makes us really fragile and easily blown away.
A lot of my white friends have said that they've signed up for these courses, like that last for like a month and a half, 2 months, where they're going in person and social distancing and learning about white fragility and white education and how to deal with racism and take action and mobilize.
Wow.
What to say, how to deal with your own racism.
I applaud colleges and institutions for giving out those courses.
Yeah.
But that should be mandatory prior to you getting into college.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm curious if I may slightly shift, but I don't think it's that big of a shift. I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on Joe Biden's comments when he was on the Breakfast Club.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see.
Take a look at my record, man. I extended the voting rights 25 years. I have a record that is second to none. The NAACP has endorsed me every time I've run.
Hey, yo, I found it kind of funny. I mean, like,
I see what you mean. The part that I found funny was just the fact that it got flipped around. Like, Trump ran away with this shit. I was like, of course he's gonna run away with it. Of course,
I mean, like, listen,
t-shirts and all kinds of shit. Like,
it's like, listen, man. Like, I always got mad where, like, I'm not trying to. Yes, am I a registered Democrat? Yes, but at the same time, I've always been very like offhandish when it comes to them thinking that they automatically have the minority vote.
Yeah.
So when I saw Joe Biden caught in that situation, and he literally just spoke out of his ass because he didn't really comprehend what he was saying, I laughed my ass off because I was just like, the guy, for one, like he's terrible on these like public speaking notices.
He really can't handle it.
He can't handle it, and I'm like, listen, man, we all know Trump is an asshole. It's like this is not new, and when people say that, I'm like, dude, stop telling me shit I already know.
Right. But you know what's crazy, Mike? And you brought this whole Joe Biden thing up, and so much has been happening this week that I forgot all about that. That's what I'm talking about.
That's why I brought it up. That's why I brought it up.
Remember, the only way we're going to make things right is by somehow finding a way to work together.
This rally, Floyd's death, comes weeks after this. A man in the East Village says an NYPD officer threatened him with a taser and punched him, accusing him of violating social distancing rules.
I want to send my heartfelt sympathy and condolences to the family of George Floyd. It could have definitely been me.
Floyd's death in Minneapolis prompting calls for justice across the country and here in New York City.
I know so many people that are like leaving New York or like changing jobs or like deciding to move because they've taken a breath. It's just giving them a time to take a breath and go, wait a fucking second, my life sucked. My life was bullshit. I was on a hamster wheel that was going towards my unhappiness, and it really, really sucked. And that's where I think so many people are right now. And so there's space for like, oh my God, life has been even worse for other people.
For other people, right?
I hope that's true. I don't think people are that self-aware, and I really think that too many people are way too selfish to come to that conclusion.
But there's nothing to take out their selfishness on right now. That's the thing. That's the beautiful thing about COVID.
They'll scream into the void. They'll scream into the void on Twitter or Facebook or.
But they can't. I mean, you can only masturbate so long, you know. Like,
well, I don't know.
It just sounds like you're a quitter.
I don't know.
People are out in the streets with each other, and that's like all we want to do right now. And this is giving people a reason to get together, and they're doing it. And you know how safe that is, whatever. But I think that's the thing that makes this maybe a different moment, is that there's things that human beings need, and that is other human beings. And COVID took almost all of that away from us. And this is a moment where people are like, you know what, this is more important than my safety.
Like I said earlier, we are in a bubble to some degree, because I know even with COVID-19, when it began, we were in the thick of it, man. But then, like I told the story a couple of chats earlier, I had a cousin in Texas who was like just looking for cornbread when we were on a family Zoom chat. We were like, well, what are you doing out? Because we're here stuck at home and you're out looking for cornbread in 3 different stores. Like, what the fuck? And he didn't really grasp the impact of COVID-19, because where he was, it wasn't impacting people. And so I'm wondering, because this happened, I'm just at the same point, like wondering how much it's going to affect people, and in which bubbles, or is there going to be a bubble at all? Is the bubble going to burst? Because the people here and the people in Minneapolis and the people that are protesting in the different cities, they're definitely aware of what's happening and they're trying to do something. But there are just as many, if not more, places where I haven't really seen any activity, any response. So, that is the other side of it.
No justice, no peace. 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 No justice, no peace.